Lemon Amiga present a Playguide video review. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Hey there once again, welcome to another Lemon Amiga Playguide and review. This time we'll be checking out Cosmic Spacehead. This game was developed and published by CodeMasters in 1993. The game begins with some introduction music and some introduction credits as well. And also it tells us about Fantastic Dizzy, which I think also came out in 1993. The main coder was Peter Williamson, and he also created Nitro Boost Challenge for CodeMasters, and also another coder, Derek Lee Gilchrist, who also coded Fantastic Dizzy. On the menu we can enter a password, we can enter a 2-player slap fight, or we can start that game. Choosing the pie fight, we get an arena where we can fire what looks like projectiles or supposed to be custard pies, and we can play a 2-player game versus an opponent. This is just a bonus game which is included with the package so that you can enjoy some 2-player action. You can see one of those controllers is on my joystick and the other one is on the mouse, so that's why the yellow guy is simply running into that corner. Fortunately I have no idea how to quit this game, and so maybe it will automatically quit once one side or another wins the match. Then it will return us back to that title sequence again and that title music. For now, let's just choose start a 1-player game so that we can check this game out. In this game we play as Cosmic Spacehead, and it's our job to go around collecting various items using the point and click, or rather drag and click manoeuvre. And by clicking on something, I pick up in this case, we can then click on that and then click on something. It's a teleport key. So we now have Lionel Town teleport key, and you'll see various items dotted around the landscape that we can pick up, and we can also look at various things as well. We've also got our birth certificate, which should come in handy a bit later on, and we can also look at various things on the landscape as well. And it says, I'm Cosmic Spacehead, I was born in the 30th century, so just a little bit of way to go there. And clicking on the door, it doesn't do anything at the moment, which is a bit mysterious. And one coin there, which is bigger than we are. Let's pick that up and stuff that into one of our infinitely deep pockets. And I've no idea why it says press space there on the corner of the view screen. Space, space, space. I think that's simply to view some information, I'm not quite sure. But if we walk on the edge of that screen, then the game opens up to its second different gameplay option, and that is a platformer, where we can now use a joystick to run around these platforms. As we negotiate this landscape, we can pick up tokens, and they look like candy tokens to me, but Picking a certain number of those up will actually give us an extra life, and that's definitely what we'll be needing later on in the game. So early on in the game, for now, let's just concentrate on collecting up as many of those as possible. Once we've completed a platforming section, then we never have to play that section again for the rest of the game. We've now arrived at a spaceport, and it looks like in a spaceport there is a vending machine. We have $1, so let's put that in the machine. Now we have 50 Lionel dollars. We can also see an attendant, and we can look at various things. Let's look at this sign. It says Cosmic Bumper Car Races. So this isn't actually a spaceport, this is the Cosmic Bumper Racing stall. So let's have a look at the attendant. Hi there, my name's Cosmic. Roll up, win a trip to Detroitica. How do I get there? Well, just enter for free, enter the bumper car race. Alright, count me in. Do you have a driver's license? No. Well, you're going to need one, so take this balloon and that will remind you to get yourself a driver's license. So we've now got a balloon. Let's have a look at this poster. Wow! All expenses paid trip to a car factory in Detroitica. Fantastic. And there's not much we can do on this screen at the moment, but if we click off the screen using our controller, this isn't the mouse, unfortunately this is the joystick. If we click off the screen, then our character will now go back to where he was before, and that will then reveal a map. Takes us back to the screen that we were on before. From here, hopefully now we can enter through that door. Unfortunately, you have to click use if you want to enter through that door. We've now entered the post office, and there are 2 attendants, and a vending machine and a photo machine. What would we like to do first of all? Well, we can put our money into the photo machine or the vendor. Gives us some gunpowder, and we can also, let's have a look, can we use the gunpowder anywhere? No, I don't think so. You need some money to operate it. So we've got some gunpowder and some more dollars. Let's see if we use the dollars again, and we're going to use that in the same machine again. That gives us even more, I think, gunpowder. Wow, some gunpowder. So I think you need to collect 2 of them in order to have enough for later on. Hi there, my name's Cosmic. Yeah, what do you want? I want to buy something. That's $10, pal. That's Cosmic Robbery. Thank you for your custom. So I've managed to get a letter from the post office. So let's read that letter. It says, "Hi, to cousin Linochkev, please help me." Alright then, so I've got a letter. We still need to post that letter. So use the letter in the post box. I think it is the mailbox. Hope cousin Linochkev replies. Right, so that's the letter posted. And so let's talk to the second attendant. "Hi there, my name's Cosmic. I've come to reclaim something. What have you got? A joke book and a missile targeting system. Give me both. First, have you prove your identity." How ridiculous. Well, I'm going to give you the joke book anyway, but you still need proof to get the targeting device. Alright, thanks. So we didn't manage to get that. Let's see what else we've got. Well, let's see if we can use the photo booth. You need money to operate it. You would think a game like this would automatically select and deduct the money, but no. In this game you have to click on everything in order to make it work. So let's use the photo booth. Hopefully we've got some passport photographs, and we might need to get a passport together a bit later on, so that's the post office all sorted out. You can see a gap in the fence there, and if you highlight that, then the exit will highlight, and that's virtually the only screen in the game with a middle exit terminal there, so that's very confusing. None of the other screens in the game require us to go down the middle of it in order to exit somewhere else. So that's definitely one of them things, once you know, you know, and if you don't know, you could be wandering around the landscape forever trying to figure out why you can't move through it. In Cosmic Spacehead, we never get to fire anything towards the enemies or to destroy them in any way, so all we can do is to avoid them as best as possible. One hit will destroy a life, and I think we've got, well, it says 4 in the corner, in the bottom corner there, so I presume we've got 4 lives remaining. And that's picked up another token, so now we've got 5 lives remaining. We're definitely going to need those later on, but for now it starts off very easy. And you can see a wonderful copper shaded background, and definitely by 1993 we were getting some decent backgrounds in Amiga games. Let's check this out. Maybe, well, let's talk to the Ascendant first of all. Passport agent. Hello, my name's Cosmic. Passport, please. I don't have a passport. Enter the kingdom of Formica without a passport. Alright then, so it's kicked us all the way back again. So I can't get anywhere on that screen until I've got a passport. And we've got the passport photographs. So now maybe I need to return back to that post office to get myself a passport. Let's just check it out anyway, because in this game it's not obvious what you're meant to do and you can't just march straight through it. Let's talk again at the inquiries office. Hi, can I have a passport? Well, I need 2 photographs and your birth certificate. Fine, there you go. And here is your passport. Hey, thanks, dude. Party on, dude. So here we go. We've now got the passport. It's as easy as that. So we didn't have to fumble around with items in that particular case. The game automatically gave us what we needed, and it's just a shame that we had to be kicked out back to the previous screen in order to get it. So can I now, I've got a passport. My name's Cosmic Spacehead. Passports please. Here we go. Planet Earth, do you have a visa? Well, pretty neat, isn't it? Well, everything else seems to be in order. You may enter. Great. So what's that? Is that passport? Is that a pick-up of PowerPoint? Is that an upgrade? Is that something that we can use to fire at the enemies? I'm not quite sure. Let's just leave it here for now. I think that's actually a password, and collecting those will simply give us a password to all we've got. Of course, if we get further in the game before we pick up that password, it will be a different one. And you can see we can float on hidden blocks in the roof on this particular level. That's not a broken level, that's meant to do that, because there are certain hidden blocks around where you can simply land on stuff and collect some hidden items, but that's unfortunately meant that we've left a few of the coins behind. That's 1 life over, so let's try that again, and you can see that any coins that we've picked up will automatically disappear off that level. And once we complete that level, we'll no longer be able to gain access to it. So it's imperative to get through it, but also to collect all the coins, because it's a no way back. As soon as you've got through that level, then you can't get back here again. So you can see some trees in the background, and it's a nice forest effect. And the enemies follow a predefined pattern, so it's not difficult to get rid of them. And there are various blobs on this particular level floating around, and that definitely reminds me of, well, the Trapdoor game on the Commodore 64, where we had to pick up blobs and slimes and put those in a cauldron. So that reminds me of that game. And you can see something that looks a bit like a submarine and maybe a helicopter flying around. So you're going to have to watch out, because the levels are now getting slowly harder. screen you will also find different sets of music as well. So different graphics, different puzzles and different music. And we have a bathtub. And if we look at that bathtub, rub-a-dub-dub, it's meant to say that there's a hole in the bottom of it, but it doesn't, it just says rub-a-dub-dub. So how do you know that you can't get across the thing because it's got a hole in it if it doesn't tell you that it's got a hole in it? Which is very strange. Maybe if you wave your mouse pointer over that thing, or at least the pointer in this case, it will highlight the hole eventually, and that will give away the fact that you need to plug that hole in order to use that boat. I'm completely none the wiser at the moment, so let's venture on to that next level. The character doesn't have a huge jump at this stage, maybe that increases a bit later on, and we can collect 1 or 2 power-ups, so at this stage the jump is very small. Then you'll have to time things almost pixel perfectly, otherwise you're not going to make it. We've already lost 1 life, but we're rapidly heading towards, I think, whatever it is, maybe 25, that we need to collect of those bonus tokens in order to get another one. Arrived at Formica City, and that's ominously looking like another teleport key, and there's a teleport behind us and also some buttons as well. At the moment we can't operate those buttons to do anything because, well, we can perhaps use the button to shut down the force field, but if we do that, unfortunately, as soon as we get off this thing it's going to reactivate that force field again. So what can we do? Well, we could always use the teleport to move back to where we want to go, and in this game things are named after floor coverings, so Formica is a floor covering and Linoleum is also a floor covering, so we should have the Linoleum Town telekey, there it is. So let's get back to Lino City. Using the teleport key will then activate, and that will beam us back to Lionel City, and that actually takes longer to do that and perform this action than it would have taken simply walking back here in the first place. But that works, we've now used the teleporter. And that gives us, well, every time you use a teleporter in this game, it can give us a special power. Not that we're aware of that at this stage. And that's another life, so we should have been on 6 by now, but in fact we're only on 5. This is an OCS game, of course, and I love these colourful graphics. And this is the style and the quality that should have been released on the Amiga 500 from day one. But unfortunately we got tons of Atari ST ports between 1986 and 1990, so that's all we got, unfortunately. So even though this is nowhere near Lollipop in terms of quality, or, well, Gym Power and all these other games, Lionheart, which really showed what the Amiga could do, unfortunately this is basically, it looks like a 16 colour game layered over maybe a 32 colour background. Now we find our first boss, and that means we'll need to go through all of our items to figure out how to get past this scary monster. We can talk to the monster and it says roar, so that wasn't very good. What if we got gunpowder, it would make sense. We need to blow it up and blow it out of the way. Teleport keys, joke book, we can read it and joke and see if it laughs at the joke book, but obviously not. And desperation sets in. So if you look at the back of the box of this game, it actually shows a picture with the monster and a balloon. So that's our one and only tip and our solution to this puzzle. Basically you're supposed to give the monster a balloon, and how would anybody know that? I mean, usually you'd kill a monster, you blow it up, you could get it out of the way somehow, but a helium balloon, helium in this case, to get rid of a 2-ton monster isn't really going to work, but in this game of course it does. So let's hand that over. And now we give that helium balloon to the monster, and that's that ridiculous puzzle solved. And in this game there aren't too many obvious puzzles, and that spoils it completely because there really should be more obvious puzzles than that. But if you look at the back of the box, that gives away that hint, so I guess anybody who bought this game in an original box like I did for $24.99 on virtually the day of its release, then you might have had a heads up by looking at the back of the box. So I was very much into the Dizzy games at the time, and I think I bought Crystal Kingdom Dizzy on virtually the week of its release, and I noticed an advert for this and a review in Amiga Power. Amiga Power gave this 78% and said it was a great game for anybody who loves Dizzy games. It's a CodeMasters game, so I thought, well, it's a no-brainer, I've got to buy this, there's no two ways about it, it would be impossible to avoid this game, it's a Dizzy game, and it's got platforming action, my two favourite things, so I immediately rushed out and bought it. So this is definitely one that I had in the box, and I definitely played it back in the day, and we'll be getting as far as I played it during this playthrough. Unfortunately now we find another barrier, and there doesn't seem to be a way through this, the cool pool. What are you supposed to do to get through the cool pool? Well, we do have an item, and again it's not the most obvious item in the book, it's icing sugar. So if we mix the icing sugar with the water, it means we can get through. It's very handy to actually have an item to complete a puzzle first time, and that doesn't usually happen in this game. Now we're heading towards one of my least favourite levels. In this one there is lightning in the background, and that reveals the platforms that we can stand on, and until that lightning appears we're going to have to make our way through this level quite slowly. Each one of these creatures has its own name, and again on the back of the box it lets us know a few of those names, and it's good that this game has a little bit of maybe a backstory or something to it. And we are Cosmic Spacehead, we're supposed to be getting to Earth, we're supposed to be leaving this planet and somehow getting our way back to Earth, and so maybe like flashback. The one-hit deaths isn't particularly appreciated in this game, and even on a Dizzy game, even on Fantastic Dizzy, I'm sure we've got some kind of health, so we didn't have to take instant damage. But with this game you have to watch the enemies as well on the flight pattern, and sometimes once they're off the screen they're safe, but you risk luring another one onto the screen immediately if you try to move forward. So there are safe spots on the level, and so you have to be not only pixel perfect virtually, but also you have to do that in the dark, which isn't amazing at the best of times, but you can see the collision detection isn't amazing, and that's yet another life. So we've lost 2 lives, we could have been on 7 by now. So this game isn't particularly difficult if you're prepared to take your time with it. Cosmic Spacehead is meant to be kind of a kids game, maybe from 8 to 14, and so it's not one of those games that you have to really take it seriously like the Chaos Engine, but at the same time kids will be struggling to get through the puzzles in this game, and maybe not necessarily the platform action. Now we arrive at Dodgy City, and it's a bit of a dodgy city. You can see the buildings in the background are drawn in that kind of style, which is maybe, I don't know, avant-garde or whatever you call it. It's one of those angular styles that reminds us of maybe Halloween and pumpkins and that kind of thing. So, Dodgy City, we found a teleport, there's something in it, but we can't get anywhere with it. But we've got the Dodgy City teleport key. So, with this game, if in doubt, use a teleport, because that's usually the solution to the problem. So, now let's go all the way back. We've got a teleport key, so that means we can use one of the teleports, and we can just beam our way in there, like a Star Trek game. Again with the angular graphics, and quite a few games on the Amiga had those angular graphics, and definitely a few PC games as well. By 1993 you got Sam and Max and things like that, and they made use of different graphical styles. That's one of the easiest puzzles in the game as far as I remember, and as long as we managed to pick it up. Teleport machine, waterproof plug. So if we knew that the bathtub that we saw earlier on, or the boat, whatever it is, needed a plug to actually operate it, then it would have been a no-brainer to figure out what we're supposed to do next. But because the game didn't even tell us that, if you didn't know about it, then you'd be wandering around with a bath plug and no idea how to use it. Unfortunately, we can't use the map as an interactive map. We can't just click on where we need to go, and we still need to travel bit by bit to where we want to go. So the hardest part now is trying to remember where we saw that bathtub so we can put a plug in it. But since we're somewhere near Lionel Town, that means we're somewhere near Cape Canaveral, so it is a spaceship launch pad after all. So in Cape Canaveral, what we got? Well, we're running out of money, I think. Let's just see how much money we've got. We've got now, well, it's at the top usually, the cash. Let's have a look. Bath plug, 37 Lionel dollars. So whilst we're here, let's just use the slot machine again to get ourselves some more cash. So that's 50 Lionel dollars. Do we have a driver's license yet? Let's talk to the attendant and get that trip. How do I do that? You need to enter for free, count me in. And because I think we've got the passport, I think, well, balloon is a consolation. So they've actually given me another balloon. That's completely dodgy because we don't need that helium balloon for anything else in the entire game now. And we're not, unfortunately, qualified enough to race, so we do have some cash. And so let's see now if we can remember where we saw the bathtub. I think it was outside of the passport control office, so let's head over there. And was it in this direction? I think it was it on the other side of the monster. No, it's here. And the bathtub's got a leak, so once we're falling over the bathtub, it finally tells us that it's got a leak. So it does tell us after all, but only if we've inspected it closely enough. And rubber plug, so let's use that and bung it into the bathtub. That means we get a little more of an extra item, a surfboard, and that's a little bit more useful than the ones we've picked up so far. Then it's back to the haunted forest again to make our way through to Dodgy City. And this game came on just 2 discs, and hopefully if you had a second disc drive it should be compatible. I'm just taking my time with this because you can guarantee as soon as I try to set off towards something, an enemy will appear on the screen and I'll collide with it. So we've still got those 5 lives, which is good, but I'm not preparing to take any risks at this point, because that would mean it's an easy game over, and it's a very good thing that the enemies don't collide with us when they're touching the top of our heads. So we can get that one at the bottom, but that's going to be difficult, and even the one at the top is going to be fairly difficult as well. Let's see, well, we can get that actually from the right, but sometimes it's not actually worth risking life and limb to collect those. It's more important to survive in the first place, because if you get it wrong, you're only going to lose the ability to get that credit, you're also going to lose a life as well. It gives us some nice thin platforms that we can get on. That's no problem if we've got a digital joystick. And out of everything in this game, I guess the platforming action is perhaps one of the easiest parts of it. Excuse me, Sonny, can I help you? My name's Cosmic, I'm trying to get off this god-forsaken planet. Why do you want to do that? So I can discover a new planet. Which one? Well, Earth it would seem. Yep, the planet Earth. Earth! Ha, that place is only a legend. It's not, I've been there. Well, you're mad, Sonny. But if you want to get off linoleum, you will need help. Can you help me? Yeah, well, you've come to the right place, Sonny. Shady Lionel at your service. How can you help me? Well, I've got a new line in used driver's licenses. One careful owner at low mileage. Can I have one? Sure, Sonny. It'll cost you $50. So it's a good job that we went and got that extra cash then, isn't it? So that's it. I've now got my driver's license for $50, and that means that we can return back to Cape Canaveral now, and that means that we can now take part in the race. Luckily we don't have to return back to this spot, I don't think, ever again, so let's just speed up that footage so that we can get all the way back to where we need to be. And one of the worst things about this game is all the plodding backwards and forwards, and even in the slot machine you still need to put $4 in there every single time in order to get some more cash, and using a slot machine to gain cash for a kids game is a bit of a dodgy mechanic, simply because slot machines don't award any cash, they just take it off us and make us skint. But in this game you have to use the slot machine, and so now we've got $79, so hopefully now we've got that driver's license. Hi there, give me that trip to Detroit. Are you Larry Flint? That's an in-joke to kind of I think he was a pornographer or something like that, magazine guy. There was a People vs. Larry Flint movie with Woody Harrelson in it. Anyway, we are now this guy at the back, the yellow guy, and it's pretty difficult to control our bumper car because it's floating all over the place, and we're at the back at the moment in 4th position, and so we're now in 3rd. If we fall down one of those holes, I think we'll respawn. And you can also see a cut through section with the barrier raising up and lowering down, and that means we can cut through that gap. So we're in 3rd place. It doesn't tell us where we are, but we're now in 2nd. Well, we will be in 2nd as soon as we overtake this guy. So hopefully now just one more guy to go. Can we? Yes, we can get through that cut through section. So now just the one in front of us, and we've only got one more lap to do it, and there it is. We're now in 1st place. And if it's difficult for us to manoeuvre around this course, it's certainly difficult for the computer as well. Amazing driving, dude. You've won a ticket to destroy ticket. Gee, thanks. Wow. So that's our bus ticket now collected. So what do we need to do now? We've now run out of options, and well, we did post a letter, so it would be a good idea actually to pop into the post office and see if we've had a reply to our letter. But instead it looks like we're using the middle exit again, and it looks like we're trying to get through to another part of the game. Have we been to this side of the map before? Not quite sure. Yep, that's a password token. We don't really need to collect that. And, well, let's pick it up anyway. That gives us a password to how far we've now got in the game. And you're supposed to write down all of those numbers, letters, and put all them in. And they couldn't just give us a simple password. And so now we're on the other side. I remember this thing now. Now we're supposed to get through that, but we still can't get through it, unfortunately. And the bus ticket isn't going to help us, the surfboard, the driving licence, none of these are going to help us, but we can use the line old town key, and that's because actually this teleport is broken. And every time we use this teleport, again, it will give us some strange powers. So if in doubt, use the teleport. Let's teleport ourselves back to Lionel Town. Teleport. And then once we've arrived here, I think unfortunately I'm going to have to use the Formica teleport key to go all the way back there again. Let's just do that. Why? Why should we do that? Why are we messing around with these teleports? Well, it's a critical element of the game. It expects you to mess around with these teleports laboriously. And having done that, it can't just use a magical item or a heavy weight or something like that. No, it has to fall back on teleports. When we re-emerge, we'll find two of us. It's now split our atoms in two because it's a broken teleport, and that will mean we can use one of ourselves to switch off the force field barrier. And I'm not actually sure how to toggle between our different people. If you press the X key on the keyboard, it will do it, and I don't think clicking on anything actually works. I think you have to press X on the keyboard, which is ridiculous. You should be able to just press a button to do that. But anyway, that's what worked for me. You can see if we fall asleep, we'll disappear. So our shadow self, if it falls asleep, it will just disappear. So let's put that on the button, and then hopefully we can now get through to that next section. And the hardest part now is to figure out how we're supposed to roll back together. The easiest thing would be to let our shadow self fall asleep and disappear. I think if you press the X button again, that will actually blend us back together. And maybe if you use the teleport again, that will then put us back together. And that's a bit complicated and convoluted, and so, well, actually pressing X just swaps between us, so that's no good. But if we go off the screen like this, then we'll automatically combine before we move on to that next horizontal scrolling platforming section. This one you can see some slightly different trees, a nice purple sky, and nice twisty bits on the roof. And so this game has got good presentation, even though the graphics are nothing amazing as far as the colours, and by this stage really 64 colour backgrounds were becoming the standard, but this is, well, basically only 32. And the music is great. Of course, Matt Simmons is no stranger to music, having worked on, you might remember, Leander that we've covered already, and of course Chuck Rock as well. And also Matt Simmons worked on Magic Land Dizzy as well, that we've reviewed. And Ashley Hogg also created some more music. He worked on CJ's Elephant Antics for CodeMasters and Fantastic Dizzy. And the graphics in this game were created by Damien Redmond, and you might remember him from Desert Strike, and of course Crystal Kingdom Dizzy. And the other graphics were Brian Hartley, and he also worked on Spellbound Dizzy and Rockstar Ate My Hamster that we've seen already. So Derek Lee Gilchrist, Fantastic Dizzy, Matt Simmons, Magic Land Dizzy, Damien Redmond, who was Desert Strike and Crystal Kingdom Dizzy, and Brian Hartley was Spellbound Dizzy. So basically everybody that worked in every Dizzy game on the Amiga ended up working on this. Down to 3 lives at the moment, and we're definitely going to need those. As we move on, we're on the Cosmic Coast now. Cosmic Coast. Luckily this is another easy puzzle, because this is meant to be a kids game. It does throw a few easy puzzles. The teleport puzzle was virtually impossible unless you happen to fall over that. But now we've got a surfboard, let's use it. Periodically this game will give us some mini sections where we drive things and fly things and surfboard on things, and it will also give us some unique music as well, of which this is one of my favourites in the game. So Cosmic Spacehead has got variety on offer. It's got the platforming, it's got arcade sections, and it's got the puzzle element as well. Sadly, the puzzle element is perhaps one of the most neglected in the entire game. Let's pick this up. This is fuse wire that we're going to need. And can we climb out of here? No, I can't enter. What did that say? I can't enter something because we haven't got something. That's terrific. Can't enter Linograd without a visa. So where do we get the visa from? Well, the only thing that I can think of, again, is the letter that we mailed to our cousin in Linograd. Maybe he can send us a visa. I haven't got any teleport keys. I haven't got anything else that can help us. All I've got, yet again, is that surfboard. And that means we're going to have to go back yet again using the traditional dizzy all the way back to the start method in order to progress through this game. So that looks like the only thing we can do. Let's do that, and let's get back, hopefully further back through the game. really do love the music and the sea shanty music on that particular screen. Yo ho and up she rises, or whatever that's meant to be. I think the music is a great highlight, and the graphics are good, and the playability for the most part is good. So I wouldn't say it's a terrible game. Let's talk again to the passport official. Is this supposed to help us? I could go through, give me more trouble. Alright then, so that isn't actually helping us at all. So let's return back to that post office. I could have used the teleport key, but again, it's quicker to walk. So, just like the console game Animal Crossing, we've now mailed a letter off to one of our friends, and now we need to use the post office to pick it back up again. I'm still trying to reclaim the missile targeting device. Can I have it? No, you need proof. Okay, thanks. Alright then, well, I still haven't got the proof for that. Do I have... well, I've got a passport. Can I give him the passport? Can I give him the driver's license? No, it doesn't look like I can give him anything. I don't think, from these measly items, I don't think I can give him anything. Let's try and give him, well, the fuse wire, that's not going to work. I don't want that. And so, with these games, it's often trial and error. Anyway, have you got that letter for me? Yes, Lionel Chef has replied. Great stuff, we've got a reply. So, let's look at the message. It says, and yet again I forgot to read it. Let's try and read it again. It says, go to Cape Canaveral, all will be revealed. Right. Well, that's an easy puzzle, isn't it? We know exactly where to go. And why couldn't this game automatically use doors? It's a complete pain to have to click on things. Everything in this game is designed to slow us down. And it's not really a long game, perhaps you can complete it all within an hour. And so where are we now? Cape Canaveral. How much cash have we got? $79. So, well, there's a secret tunnel there. We don't need, I don't think, any cash, but we're going to need to use that secret tunnel. Unfortunately, it looks like we've forgotten to do something, because this tunnel is supposed to be highlighted. It's supposed to be able to see where we're going. And I haven't noticed a lamp anywhere. Get lamp to highlight this tunnel. And if we walk around the tunnel blindly, all that is going to happen is we're going to die. So don't you just hate it when an adventure game expects us to have solved the previous puzzle, and when you try to go on to the next screen it's either completely in darkness or it's completely impossible to get anywhere, and we have no idea at this stage why. We have no idea what item that we haven't picked up because we've picked everything up. We've no idea what item that we're supposed to need to get through this dark area that we haven't picked up or used already. We can't just use the bus ticket in an empty hole, that's not really going to do much. And the attendant isn't going to help us either. So what would you do? We haven't got a photon emitter, we haven't got a light bulb, we haven't got a lighter, we haven't got a match, we haven't got a fire, we haven't got a torch, we haven't got anything. What would you do at this particular point? Would you try to get through it anyway, trying to hope that maybe you can find your way through to the end of the level in the dark? Would you walk around the level blindly for half an hour trying to figure out what you're supposed to do? Would you go around talking to everybody, trying to get someone to help us? Well, in this case, none of those things are going to work. So what did I do? Well, I looked up the solution online. So, round about that point, I've got one life remaining. I had to look up the solution online to figure out what you're supposed to do. And do you know what you're supposed to do? Have you got any idea? Any clue at all what you're supposed to do? It's coming up now, it's pretty obvious from this point onwards. Yes, we're supposed to use a dodgy teleport key again. I'm supposed to go through the teleport again. to the same area again, and that gives us a special power-up item that we don't know we've got. It doesn't appear on the screen, we don't change a different colour, it doesn't say anything, it doesn't show anything. But apparently, going through this teleport now means that we somehow glow in the dark. Did you know that? Did you have any clue that that's possible to do that? But in this game it is. So we've now used the teleport, and that means we can now glow in the dark ridiculously. And that means we can see this level. And it's another scrolling level, but there's no enemies to watch out for, and there are a number of paths. You might think that we can simply fall down here, but we can't. We'll simply die, and we've got one life left, so I don't really want to risk it. It's pretty difficult because we can bang our head on the roof, which means the jump is even smaller than it was before, which means we're going to have to be even more pixel perfect to make it. It is possible, and by moving across here, let's see, is it possible to, well, we can't climb up there. It looks like we can climb across here. We can't do anything down there. So maybe if I take a running jump off here and risk it, and obviously if we touch any of this slime we're going to die, and you'd think we can fall down here but we can't, and you think that we can make our way on the top here but we can't, so that means we have to fall down again, and that's a dead end. We can't fall down here, and there's nothing to tell us that we can't fall down here, and so it's a pretty long level. So here it is. There are steps now to get out, and so we're supposed to risk everything, leap onto those steps to climb out, because there's nowhere else to go, nowhere else on the level, and that eventually reveals Linograd. This rocket is as far as I managed to get back in the day. I definitely remember this rocket, and I definitely remember launching this rocket, and the way is blocked. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell us that. Looks like this is where I stop. There you go. Eventually it will tell us. So what have we got now? We've got a rocket. That gives us some ideas. We've got a helium balloon. That's not going to do much. It looks dangerous. Yep, it's a big rocket. So what have we got? Well, we've got a fuse wire. Definitely the fuse wire is for the rocket. And I can't do that. I need to do something else first. What? What do you need to do first? What is that something else that I need first? Give me a clue. Give me any kind of an idea. We've got gunpowder. We've got a fuse wire. And, well, that's about it. We need at least... well, we need a guidance computer that we haven't got at the moment. And that's definitely one of the items that we need. And we're also going to need a match. We're going to need to strike a match. So I'm getting wise to this game now. Is it possible to use the teleport and simply use the teleport somehow to get us around this puzzle? Let's select the linoleum town key again, and it says, oh no, this teleport machine only accepts incoming calls, so we can't even use the teleport. Right, okay, well, does that mean that we're going to have to go all the way back again? Yes, I think so, but before we do, let's explore this level. And again, we'll get some more music, some more excellent background graphics, and some more excellent foreground graphics, which is actually shaded. And now the enemies get a bit higher, and just like maybe Arabian Nights, they blow up after a bit. The bombs that just blow up, so we're going to have to time that and get under them. And if we touch any of their missiles or whatever they eject, we're going to die. So that definitely reminds me of enemies in some games that blow up like this, and it's fun. But look at that, just squeezing through. So even at this stage, we're now maybe a third of the way through the game. The enemies aren't too difficult even at this stage, but look at that, just right there. Oh, look at that, look at that, just about snuck under them. So it's a good job that the collision detection is a bit dodgy to go along with the rest of this game. So that's good. Let's see, that's going to blow up, and that's fairly safe. And I think even in Lollipop we got to see things exploding into different things, I'm not quite sure, but those tick-tick explosions definitely remind me of quite a few games on the Amiga. Now we find the match that we need. That's one of the essential items, and there's a password as well, and it's a pity that we can't save in this game, but we can collect that password. So it's for you. So if you type all that in, that's fantastic, and I think it disappears within about 5 seconds, so you can't actually write that down. Look at the cave paintings, and time when Linoleum Man was exploring the universe. And again, excellent music on that particular location. So we've got the match. Does that mean now that we've got all of the items that we need? And that's the match. What do we need? Well, I think it's a good idea to put the gunpowder in first of all. And then we're loading up that rocket with whatever it needs, and it says you still don't have everything you need first. In most adventure games you could put in the fuse, you could put in the gunpowder, and you could get it ready, and then when you're about to strike the match it says hold on a minute, you haven't got the guidance computer. But in this game it says no, you can't even begin to do the puzzle, you can't even start it until you've got all of the essential elements, and if you don't know about that guidance computer or how to get it, well, you're going to have to figure it out. So yet again I use this opportunity to go back and look at the solution, and the solution basically said that you're going to have to go back again, and so let's see what I eventually did. It's got to be something to do with the post office. It's got to be something to do with that guidance computer. So let's see how it was possible to get it now that I've looked up the solution online. And just like many Dizzy games, it's infuriating until you look up the solution, and then the solution seems fairly obvious. So let's talk to this attendant again. I want to reclaim something. What? I want to get the targeting device. How do I get it? You seem to have everything you need because you've now picked up the match, so here's everything you need to make a bomb, so you can have it. Thanks. So it was actually the matchstick that we needed to pick up in order to be able to pick up that targeting device. Just because we had the match and the fuse wire and the gunpowder we actually picked up in the post office, then it's finally unlocked that puzzle. It's a bit stupid to do that because, of course, it would have been better if we'd got some kind of permit, a stamped permit, so that we could actually be a rocket technician or something. But no, in this game it just needs a match. So now have we got finally the apparatus we need to launch this aircraft into the air. Missile gunpowder, good move dude. So let's see now, we've got the missile, the targeting device, let's put that in. Good move finally, something's actually working. So we've got the gunpowder in, we've got the targeting device, we still need the fuse wire. So let's put that in, and now we can strike that match, hopefully, and get this rocket underway.
It's a mystery, and I don't like mysteries. Give me a bellyache, and I got a beauty right now.
Engage.
Beam me up, Scotty.
And all that will happen after all that is the rocket will come down and it will blow up the exit that was blocked before. So it doesn't do anything special, all of that does is open the door. We could have just used a key, but no, we have to use a rocket. So again, everything in this game is designed to slow the player down. We can't just put a key in there and fire it. But this is the next part of the puzzle. We're still in kind of an Egyptian area, and now we get 2 enemies for the price of 1. So that means we're going to have to lure them out and blow them up. We're down to our last life, so it would be a great idea to get another one at this point. And if you're only on 1 life by now, probably it's a good idea to restart the game again and maybe even write down those passwords if that's even possible when you've got at least 3 lives. And so let's see where we go. Avoiding those things that blow up is pretty difficult. So this game has got something good going for it, but in general it's not exactly Turrican 2. So the magazines compared this to Amiga Power and Turrican 2, and so the one awarded this a massive 44%, complaining that it's for kids and some of the puzzles are dumb. Even Amiga Joker increased that and escalated up to a huge 45%. They gave it 1 extra percent, saying it's dumb and it's boring and it's for kids and the puzzles don't make any sense. Amiga Computing ranked that all the way up to 52%. The Amiga gave this a huge 59%. The current score on Lemon Amiga is 61. Amiga Format gave this 68. Amiga Dream awarded this 74. Amiga User International gave it 76. Amiga Power, and the review that I read in Amiga Power, gave this 78%. Amiga Force gave it 82. And that means the average score is somewhere around about 6.5 out of 10. We haven't got too many areas now to discover on this particular planet. Once we get to the bus stop at the end, after we get through to Lionelville and that bus stop, it means that we can take our flight to the next planet, and I think there's only maybe 2 planets in the game. So this is yet more water. Can we use the surfboard? No, we can't. Can we use the icing sugar? No, we can't. So can we use the match? No. Can we use the joke book? No. Can we use the helium balloon? No. What are we supposed to do here then? Are we supposed to get the spring shoes? Are we supposed to get a trampoline? Are we supposed to get into a cannon to fire ourselves over that? Are we supposed to bounce on something? Are we supposed to climb over something? Do we have a switch that we can push? No, none of the above. Instead, what do we need to do? Well, we need to use the teleport. And having used the teleport, it will then give us a magical upgrade that we didn't know we had, and we're not supposed to know that, but we didn't get it anyway. And now we can use the teleport key in this to give us that magical upgrade that we don't know we've got. And now, having done so, we can make our way back over to where we were seconds before, having not collected a power-up, a token, an upgrade or anything else, and we can simply walk over it, having now used the magic all-purpose fix-everything teleport. And if you thought that was a dumb puzzle, it is. So we can now walk over it. Terrific. I don't think that gives us any higher jump, I don't think, in these sections, but that means we can now jump over some more water. So that's 3 or 4 different ways we can get over water in this game, all of them different, and all of them requiring a different item or a skill or having to do something. In a Dizzy game, you just pick up a snorkel. So that's why some of the reviewers said the puzzles were insane, and you can't just use stilts or a snorkel or something like that to get through every puzzle. And the enemies are pretty lethal as well, and it's very easy to collide with them by mistake, and there's usually only 1 pixel gap between you and death. Luckily it gives us an extra life after 1, so we're now on 0 lives. We don't have anything listed on the screen, so we haven't collected any tokens, we haven't got any lives left. So this is virtually the end of my play. This is as far as I've ever got with the game, because I can't remember ever getting further than this, and we're on our way now to the bus stop. So we've got the bus ticket, so all we need to do is to make our way over there, and then that's basically this world over. Unfortunately, well, that's another life gone. We must have picked up another life, so then definitely now we're on 0 lives. So this game can't even make its mind up how many lives we've got. Are we on 1? Are we on 0? Are we on -1? Believe you me, this is our last life. So I do have respect for this game, unbelievably. And I even have respect for Captain Planet, so that shouldn't come as too much of a surprise. I did own them both back in the day, I did play them both back in the day, and I did get forward with both of them, Captain Planet and Cosmic Spacehead, back in the day. Looking back, this is definitely a waste of time compared to Crystal Kingdom Dizzy, or Spellbound Dizzy, or Fantasy World Dizzy, or Fantastic Dizzy, or Magic Land Dizzy, or Dizzy 2, Dizzy 3, whatever. But back in the day it was fairly alright, and so I'd probably give this maybe a 6 out of 10. So thank you for viewing this play guide to the first half of the game Cosmic Spacehead, and if you want to play this game yourself, it's definitely out there. It's one that I had, and it's one that I definitely banged my head over month after month trying to get through it. So thank you once again, and we'll see you once again in another Lemon Amiga play guide to another game at some point sometime soon.